Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me. Wow. The Diana Wright Show online starts now. My goodness, what a day. What a morning. Did you know that the Pope could resign? I truly did not know that. And I wonder how many of you knew that the Pope could actually resign. Well, Pope Benedict the 16th has resigned. And I never thought, because I'm not Catholic, I never thought it would affect me the way it did. I was shocked, like I'm sure lots of you are shocked. And in my mind, I'm saying, wow, humility. He's a very humble man. How many of us would give up that type of power because we're going to cite that we are too old at 85 years old and we have declining health? How many of us would be so humble to do something like that? And don't we wish some of the politicians in Washington would be humble enough to do something like this instead of dying in office, or instead of staying there until they really and truly know in their hearts that they don't have the strength to continue? Wow. I am truly wowed by Pope Benedict the 16th this morning. I wonder about a looming scandal. Is there one that we don't know about? Is this a sudden decision, or is this something that he's been pondering with for a year, I'm gathering? Wow. Again, I say wow. We welcome those of you around the world who are watching. Those of you in the United States, we say bonjour, comment allez-vous? Hope you're going to say très bien if you're French. Buongiorno, Italiano. Buenos dias in Spanish. And again, I say wow and good morning to each and every one of you. If you're Catholic, I know a lot of you are very saddened by this decision. Some people are not. Some people believe that he was not forthcoming. He was not doing enough about abortion, about birth control, about sex abuse in the church, and also about admitting gays to the church. But I simply wonder how many of us would be so humble. And of course, he prides himself with unstoppable faith that he has. He's had a long career, including being a POW held by Americans in the war. But I am truly impressed with his humility, because I think there are times in our lives that we need to acknowledge and make up our minds and decide that we are too old or too tired or no longer has the strength to do the things that we are expected to do, and just go on. But I have lots of questions. Where will he live now? Is he going to still live at the Vatican? Is there another place that he retires to? Who knew the Pope could resign? 85, declining health, he says. But where will he go now? And what will he do now? And how will he influence the person that succeeds him? Is that person going to be intimidated because he's alive and I have to be so careful about what I do or what I say or my decisions that I make? Well, we're told that he's appointed a lot of cardinals, so everyone is saying that he was up to this for a while because he appointed all those people so that they could then vote in someone who has his vision to continue as Pope. My other question to you is, why is the Pope so powerful? I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Who made him so powerful? Why is he so powerful in the Catholic Church? And why is it that so many people look up to him? Is it going to be black smoke that we see coming out of the chimney? Or is it going to be white smoke? We don't know. He's set to resign or leave his post on February 28th. That's just a short time from now. And I just wonder, because when you do go to Rome like I did, and I went to Rome, and it was an experience, just being at the Vatican, standing outside, waiting for the Pope to come out and show his face and say a few words with prayer at that little window. Thousands and thousands of people just wait there. You see people dressed up, dressed down, look crazy. You know, it's just an amazing experience. And that's the reason I do say that, ladies and gentlemen, we should expose our children to travel and different cultures, foods, and people. So we're not living in an insular little box in our world of America. Just reminding you, you're tuned and listening to and watching the Diana Wright Show live online, who I am totally wowed by the resignation of Pope Benedict XVI. And just simply wondering if you knew that they could resign. This never happened in my lifetime anyway. And we are told it only happened 600 years ago, in the year 1415. Ooh! And that, we're told, was a time when he was forced out. That Pope was forced out. So what's there to say about this? What is your thoughts on this? 561-228-1921. The number to call. 561-228-1921. And I'm sure this will dominate the news for several days until the 28th has come and pass. Incredible. Increíble, I normally say about things that totally wow or shock me. And I'm sure I'm not the only person today that feels that way. So what are your thoughts? How do you feel about the Pope's resignation? Do you think and thank him for his humility? Or do you think there's another motive that we don't know anything about? Remember, his butler was trying to release some papers I think it was a year ago. And that was supposedly a potential scandal. But it really wasn't. It kind of was quelched. I'm willing to take the Pope at his word that he's tired. He doesn't believe he has the strength to continue. He's 85 years old. And it's grueling to do the travel and the work of the Pope. I'm sure you all know that the Vatican has their own government. It's a country within a country of Italy. And there are things that happen there that you and I will never know about. They have their own bank and everything else. Incredible experience when you actually go through that Vatican, through all the public spaces that you're allowed to see. But also that wonderful experience of standing out there in the square with everyone waiting to see the Pope through that little window saying his words that he says. So if you're Catholic, some people might be very sad today. And if you're Catholic, some people might be happy today, because everyone is hoping for a more progressive Pope, if you will. A Pope that will make decisions. A Pope that will deal with the sex scandal of the Catholic Church. A Pope that will deal with abortion and birth control head on. But he just seemed to have been a quiet one. His birthday is in April. He's born in April. So I think that makes him an Aries, because he's not, yeah, or is he a Taurian? I think he's Arian. I don't think he passes the 21st. We'll double check on that. But it's amazing just to see and know that the Pope could resign. So Washington, there's hope for you yet. Some of you there need to just resign because you're not doing anything. Folks in Congress, you congressmen, you need to resign because you're not really doing anything. All you're doing is obstructing it, and the country is at standstill. The economy is in slow recovery, shall we say? And as the president has his State of the Union address tomorrow evening, we wait and see what he says. I am hoping that he focuses on the economy, as everyone is saying he will, and we will see some growth, some movement toward jobs. And does he have a plan for the battle with the Republicans as far as the economy is concerned? Yes, we know there will be battles with immigration and gun control and all of that. But what will be done about the economy? Our economy, some of us are still drowning in our homes that are underwater. Literally drowning. Getting lawyers to try to stop our foreclosures. And wondering what should be our next move. Life should not be that uncertain. So what is the president's plan to take care of all of that? And how will the Republicans, will they relent, or will they just continue to be the party of obstruction and the party of no and the stupid party, as Governor Jindal said? Where do we go from here? Are we going to continue to be in limbo as we progress and try to do better? The president will also travel this week to Chicago, to his hometown that is riddled by violence. They buried the young lady this weekend who actually performed at his inauguration. She's from Chicago. So what do we do about these crazy cities, Los Angeles? And, it's like, oh my goodness. Where do you go to escape the violence? When you watch the news in the evenings, and I've kind of tried to stop watching the news before I go to my bed, because you go to your bed with all that violence in your brain and you have nightmares. So my thing is, I try to go to bed watching something positive, whether it's my favorite channel, HGTV, or watching one of the religious channels where someone is speaking some sense, because not all of them do. And just try to block out. It's always violence. Someone killing someone, shooting up someone, robbing someone, kidnapping someone. And it's just a barrage of bad news in your psyche before you go to sleep. So my advice to you, just ponder on how much you're going to love yourself. And how much loving yourself is more important than all the bad news you're watching on television. Because when you love yourself, you increase your own power, your inner peace, your inner self. And you know that if you love yourself and you love your children and you show your children how to love themselves, then your little world will be a better place. Because even though we need to be involved in the big world, we need to make sure our world that we live in is true and authentic. Because a lot of us, we are out there and we're showing this image of dress up and good deeds. But when we go home to our own prisons, our own prison cell that we have created. Some of us are allowing our children to overthrow the household, and they become in charge of the household. And parents, I plead with you this morning to please do not allow your teenager to take over your house, or intimidate you, or rule you as some of them do. We should not allow that to happen, because some of our teenagers will do just that. They will overtake our houses and our places. And we wonder what happens next when they do that. And as I try to change the graphics here, I will continue to speak to you. And we hope that when President Obama visits Chicago this week, he will be able to use his bully pulpit, as they call it. But I more so believe that he has a voice and a sound and a tone of convincing and persuading those young people in Chicago to put their guns down, go to school and try to make something of themselves, quit the gangs, and stop killing each other. And how far are we going to go with gun control, or are we just continuing to speak? Because I am just kind of tired right now of the speaking and hearing all these people speak and speak and speak, and I don't see anything happening. When is something going to change? Do we have to wait for the State of the Union tomorrow to see some change? Are the Republicans going to be resistant because they believe in Mr. LaPierre, Mr. Wayne LaPierre, who's the head of the gun NRA? Or how many of us truly believe that you need a gun to shoot people or to shoot a bird that goes off and can kill 10 people at one time? I don't think so. And immigration? How long are they going to take to solve this immigration thing? How many years have we been listening and hoping and waiting and wondering what's next for the immigrants who are, illegal, as they put it, illegal aliens? I don't know if alien is a good word. Who's an alien anyway? Isn't an alien a weird person, a weird thing that you don't want to be associated with? So why is it that so many of us have these aliens cleaning our houses and mowing our grass and doing our architectural gardening work? How many of us working in our factories, in our stores, and we ask no questions? And these people go home and they are in their own prisons. Yes? We need to be more authentic about ourselves, about our lives, and who we truly are. Well, for me, I simply try to be just the way I am right here. I really try to do that. I am impatient. Yes, I am. And I hate to argue with stupid people. And I do not like when people behave in a stupid manner. So my patience get very short with stupid people. The Bible calls them foolish. Some ministers call them stupid. What are you calling them? And how patient are you? Because a lot of people like to correct you when they think you're impatient. But they are suffering from impatience themselves. Because when they pray, they expect to have their miracle in a second from God. But then they chide you for your impatience on earth. So shall we then choose just to live in the supernatural? Of course. Because the supernatural world is where God is, where Jesus is. And where all your dreams do come true. And where all the things that you pray for actually come true. So my advice to you is just to simply live in the supernatural, trust, believe, and have crazy blind faith in God, that He will guide you through. Forget about the naysayers and the negative people around you. Whatever crazy dream you have, as long as it's your dream, just pursue it as you pray and you wait patiently for the answer from God. But do your part. Because some of us believe that God is going to come down and throw us a ton of money in our laps, and it doesn't work like that. You have to persevere, you have to fail, you have to get up, you have to brush yourself off, you have to go through tragedies. That's the reason we have our testimony. And as I start my journey of giving my testimony to churches and gatherings and people, and my I Love Me crusade message, people will be shocked. Yeah. To see how you get to a place of forgiveness despite everything that happened to you and what you didn't have and which parent you did not have. Remember, I've shared it all my life on radio and television. I don't know who my father is, but it never becomes an issue for me because success is my revenge and has always been to do my best at whatever I do or try to do. So I encourage young people to take their power back. And as I call it, young power, that's what it really is. Because young people, they have great power. They just don't utilize it. Or they squander it by doing crazy things like, go taking drugs or go trying to kill people, not going to school, getting into fornication and getting pregnant. And then those babies continue the cycle. And those babies, a lot of them, their futures are blighted by your mistake. Some of them do come out to be great people. But why can't we do things in order as we move through our daily lives? I always say that, when you're going to school, high school, you're just trying to find yourself. You don't know anything. A lot of you teenagers believe you know everything. You really don't know anything. Because life for you is just beginning. You're fighting with your hormones. You're fighting with your parents. You're fighting with your friends, most of you. And you're fighting with who you want to be and who you will be. And when you get to college, you should go there knowing what you want to do, not going there to try to find yourself. Whatever profession you choose, you should truly try to focus on that when you get to college. And yes, you're allowed to change your major, but when you change your major in college after a year or two, you're setting yourself back. Because then you have to go take all those core subjects again for that particular major that you've now changed to. And don't change your major because you're lazy to read the books, because law is too many books to read, or being a doctor takes too long. What is your passion is what you really need to ask before you quit anything that you want to do in college. Find your authentic self before you make your moves. Okay, reminding you of the numbers here. 561-228-1921. Give me a call and let me hear your views and your thoughts on the Pope's resignation. What can the president do for the economy with his speech, State of the Union address tomorrow? What can he do when he goes to Chicago? Is his ability to persuade and convince and persuade people? Will that help in helping those young people to put their guns down? Because a lot of young people, yes, are the ones committing the crimes wherever you live. So we just wonder and hope that that changes something, and that the Republicans decide consciously to think about the country they serve, the people of the country that they serve, the Americans, and why they were sent to Washington to do the people's business. So that's my encouragement for them today, this morning, as we continue. And interesting to note that the Pope decided to resign before Lent and before Easter. That's just around the corner, actually. When is it this year? Is it April or the end of March or what? Because it seems like the calendar confuses you. When you live in certain countries, you know it's Good Friday. Yes. But in the US, Good Friday is not a holiday like most European countries and Caribbean countries or Caribbean countries, whichever way you want to pronounce it. So we live in America. We all work on Good Friday. So when is Easter this year? Maybe someone would like to enlighten me, and I have to check my calendar, because every year it seems to shift to another date. And focus is on spring break, when crazy teenagers go all over the world and all over the Caribbean and everywhere else and dress in their skimpy bikinis and act like they're crazy fools, drinking too much liquor and behaving nasty. We see the videos when they're captured. And how ashamed your parents will be when they see those videos. How embarrassing it is for your parent who thought they raised you right, and then they are able to see you in a video behaving in a drunken state of nastiness. Skimpily clad most of the times, and acting a fool. So parents, my advice to you, don't send your teenagers off to any spring break event, because believe me, what they do there is not going to help them in any way, shape, or form to be a better person, to choose their career, to find their passion, or move forward in their lives. It just will not help. I honestly believe that going to spring break will hurt your teenager more than it will help them. So discourage your children from wanting to be and going to these spring break events around the world. And they get kicked out of Florida, so they go to Mexico, or they get kicked out of there, they go to Jamaica. You know, they just keep getting kicked out of places. So how good could it be? So as we look towards Lent and Easter, we wonder why Pope Benedict XVI decided to shock us all and show us his humility by resigning, giving up all that power. Because you know, men especially love power. And when they get there, a lot of them get into trouble. Because power corrupts. Yes, it does sometimes. We can name names of a lot of men. Mr. Spitzer, the governor of New York, he was so powerful and he was going for all those guys, bad guys. But in the shadows and not being his authentic self, he was doing what he was not supposed to do, disappointing his wife and family. How many of us are like that? We're saying one thing, but we're doing something else in the shadows. We're not saying that we expect you to be perfect, because no one is perfect at home or in school or whatever. But we expect you to try to be as true and authentic as possible in public and in private. Please, not two lives. And ladies and gentlemen, if you love yourself, you will not allow anyone to tell you who you should be or you shouldn't be. That decision is yours. And even though your parents will guide you and show you the right path most of the times, parents, children, your children will do exactly what they want to do. And if you pressure them too much, they will do exactly what you don't want them to do. So, reverse psychology is a wonderful thing in parenting, as you might just imagine. Okay, so I really and truly commend the Pope for showing such great humility and giving up power. So we wonder now, who will take the reins of the next Pope? Will he come from America, Africa, Asia, Latin America? Where will he come from? We don't know, but we hope to find out soon. And I'm sure we will find out very soon who will be the Pope, the next Pope. And how progressive will that Pope be? Will that Pope be brave enough to attack birth control, abortion, all the sex scandals of the priests molesting young boys and the nuns molesting young girls? Yeah, that happens too. And will he be able to say if gays will be accepted in the Catholic Church? Lots of things on the next Pope's plate, and lots of things that people are expecting him to do. Because you notice I say him because I don't think it will be a her. No, I don't think it will be a her. At no point, anytime soon. Because we have great expectation that we'll have the first female president of the United States in Hillary Clinton. We still don't know, because we still have a ways to go. 2016, lots of things can happen. Remember, I always remind you that life changes in an instant, in a moment, by the stick of a needle. Your life will change, can change by a phone call, a letter in the mail. So, how future plans do you make? I try not to. I try to live in the moment. Enjoy the moment that you're given right now. And as the Bible tells you, that He takes care of your daily bread. And not to worry about what tomorrow is going to be. Do your best today. Love yourself today. And don't forget that come April 30th, it's declared by the Diana Wright Show online to be the National I Love Me Day. And I want everyone wearing my t-shirts. Women, your t-shirts will be saying, or your wife beater as they call the ones without the sleeve, I love me. And your children should be wearing them too. And men, your t-shirts will simply say, love me. That's a masculine thing for you to say. So we encourage you to get on our crusade of I love me and love me. And if you'd like me to be a speaker at your event, at your church, at your gathering, just give me a call. 561-228-1921. The number is on the screen. And of course, you can email me at dianawrighttv@gmail.com. That's dianawrighttv@gmail.com. And of course, we're asking you to give us a thumbs up on Facebook. And since all the people on the networks are begging you to do so, I'm going to beg you to do so too. So check us out on Twitter. Tweet me. Come on. Let's get with it. And if you miss a show, you can see it on the website, dianawrighttv.webs.com. If you're watching now, I don't need to give you that address, but if you are watching, you need to give it to your friends, text it to your friends, call them and give it to them. Text it to them because it's easier, so they'll have it. They don't have to think about it and remember and leave out a T or a V here or whatever they leave out, or spell my name as Diane instead of Diana. And write with a W instead of a R, right? So it's dianawrighttv.webs.com. I want to just take a minute and recognize someone, a sponsor, someone who I'd like to say thank you to, Forever Studios and Zachary Goldberg. Went to him on Saturday, and my goodness, his place is so nicely done, very contemporary, very minimalistic, but beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. And what he does, just like it says, it's a forever studio. So you can go with your grandmother's picture that is so crumbled and you're like, how am I going to restore grandma? He will restore it for you. He will have your funeral that you can look at it and, mourn and be sad. He can also take the memories that are joyful, and he can just make you a video if you want to just talk about your life and your life history and your family tree and all those things on video. He will do that. Of course, he takes pictures and photos and all those other things, but you can actually go there and have your life on video in a professional manner and a very minimalistic, contemporary, fantastic, fabulous atmosphere to do that in. So yes, if you need to purchase a tape now, he's gonna get them transferred for me, and I'll be able to sell you tapes. If you'd like tapes of the old shows that I did in Jamaica, they're gonna be now available to you. Now, not all the titles will be available right away, so I'll just let you know which ones are going to be available, and then I'll let you know which ones I have. It's a lot that you might be interested in. So if there's one particular tape that you show that you were in or something and you want that tape to keep for your own memories, you can order the tape and we'll sell it to you. Also, if you'd like to be an advertiser here, but before I do that, I'm going to give you his telephone number. It's 561-235-7806. That's 561-235-7806. And it's Forever Studios, and Zachary Goldberg is the name of the gentleman. Very nice, and a very, very good customer service and all that kind of stuff. So if you'd like me to talk about your company, send me a card, and of course we'll tell you how much it costs to do so. 561-228-1921. That's the telephone number. Okay, there are other things in the news, but remember the question for this day: should the Catholic Church have so much power in terms of the Pope himself? Should the Pope have all the power that he has, or should his power be, watered down, if you will? Alrighty. And would you be so humble as to give up such power? I'm not so sure. Would you? If you recognize that you're 85 and your health is not that great and you're not as strong as you used to be, check yourself today. Alrighty. Interesting thoughts that I'd like to share with you today. 40 million mistakes are made by the credit bureaus. So if there's a mistake or an error on your credit report, I am sad for you, because it takes maybe the whole country to get them to change it, or the whole world maybe to change it. The credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, is your credit ruined by them, or is someone having your name and they mix up your name with someone else's name even though you don't have the same last name? My goodness, how do you do that? You have the same first name, different last name. The credit bureaus happen to screw it up, and then they don't want to fix it. And when you call to try to fix it, you go to some place in India or some place in Latin America, and those people can do nothing for you. Or they give you a P.O. box that you never get an answer from. Or when you call on the phone, you call and you call and you wait and you wait and you talk for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, finding out that the person you're talking to can do nothing for you. The person is of no use to you. So what do we do about this? Who are we going to call to try to straighten out the credit bureaus and let them stop doing what they're doing to people? They're ruining lives. All types of lives. And they will have one thing and someone else will have the other thing, because what they do, what they tell you on your credit report is not what they put on the credit report that they are selling to someone else. And note, when you go to get a mortgage, because I knew that as a mortgage broker when I just came to Florida. I did. And I was a mortgage broker for a while. Yes. And what it is that the credit report that you have, that's not the credit report that the bank has. So if you did something 100 years ago, it will be on there. But only the bank sees it, you don't. And the mortgage broker will get that report. So a lot of us are shocked by things that turn up on our reports and how much our names are entangled with someone else's name. Yeah? And we fight and we fight and we fight and we fight and we get nowhere. One woman said she had to literally sue the credit bureaus to get her credit, her life back, because basically your credit is part of your life. So why is it that the consumer always seem to be the ones getting the shorter end of the stick? All these powerful bureaus, they hold our credit in their hands, but yet, if they make a mistake, they're never willing to accept it and change it. Wow. Shall I drink some water? Yes, I think I should. And as I take my sip of water, yes, it is water. I don't consume alcohol. Never did, never will. No matter what. No alcohol for me. All right? Something that really wowed me this week, or should I say this past week, because some say Saturday is the first day, some say Sunday is the first day, so this is Monday. President of Iran, that's President Ahmadinejad, he was actually chased out of Parliament in a gathering, and he was actually escorted out. I could neither believe my eyes or my brain when I saw that happening. Mr. Ahmadinejad, that a lot of people are so curious about him because he has this, his features are so curious. Yes, he seemed to be a good-looking man. He seemed to be a not-so-tall man in his days of being part of the revolution. But everyone has a curiosity about Ahmadinejad. But to see him being chased out, I was like, whoa, I didn't know they could do that. Can you imagine them chasing the president out of the State of the Union or something like that? And he has to leave? I was just totally enamored and totally shocked again by something like this. Who knew? And wow, he was escorted out. Very nicely escorted out, but the shout to get him out was so loud. I wondered about that. Could that ever happen in this country? I don't think so, and I would hope not. My. Our beloved Toni Braxton has retired from music. She said her heart is no longer in it. Well, again, humility. She's talented. We know she has some health challenges because she has lupus. And I'm wondering if that played a part in it. But we'll take her for her word. She says her heart is no longer in it. So we'll take that. But we'll miss her with her crazy outfits at the Grammys. And we will also hope that she's taking care of herself, her health, and the lupus that she has. So whatever the backstory is, we don't know. We may find out. But that is what she said on Friday. She no longer feels it. Yeah? So no more Toni Braxton in the music industry. So, I know my mom loves Toni Braxton, so she will be saddened to hear that. On a lighter note, did you know also that in France, a law was repealed last week? Did you know what the law was? The law was that women could not wear pants in France. You have to wear skirts all the time. And if you notice, yeah, that there are lots of international women who actually went to France and they committed a crime. They broke the law. Our beloved Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, she always has her pantsuits on. And Chancellor Merkel from Germany, she always has on her pantsuits. So how come they didn't get arrested? Or was it just a law that has been there and all these women in France have been fighting to get rid of the law? And the law is no more. So the law has been repealed in France. And for all of you who are going to Paris, including myself, in your pants, now you're free to roam in your pants in Paris. One of my favorite cities, but I always thought that, they were kind of snubby. But they're getting a little more friendly these days, it seems. And Paris is indeed a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. France is a beautiful country, period. You can't take that away, even if you consider them to be rude or snobbish. They have a beautiful country. So, we'll keep that in mind. My goodness. Wow. I just, can you imagine? I thought it was just the Seventh-day churches, the Sabbath keepers, that want you not to wear your pants. But there's actually nowhere in the Bible that says you can't wear pants. And what about those men who wear dresses all over the world anyway? The Muslims and people from Saudi Arabia and Iran and Iraq and all those countries. And the head of state in was it Morocco? He was saying that we Southern people want democracy to mean that the women over there take off their veils. I don't want anybody to take their veil off. I don't know about you, but taking your veil off doesn't mean anything. What's in your heart is what means something. What is in your heart? It's just like the Republicans saying the words of change, and they're going to be nicer, gentler people, and they're not going to hate immigrants, and they're not going to hate brown and black people, and they're going to change their policies. But I know, is it just lip service? What is in the heart of those Tea Party people who Karl Rove is fighting with? And as we move to fighting, do you see the fight stirring between the governor of Texas and the governor of California? Because the governor of Texas is trying to steal people from California by telling them that taxes are too high, this is too high, housing is too high, come to Texas. It's a better place for business and a better place to get a house and a better place for jobs. Whoa, what a fight that's going to be. Now, California is actually my favorite place in America. I lived in Los Angeles for a while, in Beverly Hills, and loved it. Apart from the little earthquake and the smog, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. And what's wonderful about it? You don't feel black or white or blue in California. People just are people. And people are just nicer. And people just because you never know. When Michael Jackson was alive, he used to dress up like the beggar and go into the stores when he wants to buy something in the store and not being seen as Michael Jackson. So people in California are generally just nicer because they never know which movie star they're serving or taking care of. So I don't know. I'm not sure a lot of people from California will just jump and move to Texas. Yes, the business people will move because, it's all about profits for them. But a lot of people who live in California, in spite of how expensive it is, because trying to get a house there, what you get for $1 million is just probably a little cub in California. Very expensive, but what a beautiful place it is. What a nice place it is. If you want to feel like you're in Europe, you go to Santa Monica. You want to feel like you're in the islands on the beaches, you go to San Diego. You want to go feel like you have snow and you're in winter, you go to Big Bear. There's so much to do. So many beaches, so many nice, beautiful people. So I'm not so sure that Mr. Perry from Texas is going to be able to convince all them Californians to come to Texas. Been to Texas? Texas is okay. I don't think I could live there. Their housing is beautiful and affordable, but I'm not sure I have a Texan in me. Austin, Texas seems to be the place where a lot of people are moving to because they call it a progressive place that you can let your dreams come true. If you want to open a restaurant, if you want to sing, if you want to be a musician, Austin is a place to go, but I don't know. I love Atlanta, Georgia. That's my place. But I love California. And if it was not so expensive, I will definitely be in California, despite the smog, despite the earthquake, and despite the traffic in LA. I would certainly want to be in Los Angeles. And Santa Barbara is my favorite place to be in California. Joining the likes of Oprah and all those wonderful people. Santa Barbara is just picturesque, beautiful. I promised to take myself and my family to the wine country, Sonoma, because it is beautiful there, but I've never been. I've only seen pictures and watched shows that are taped out of there, like Michael Ciccarelli, who's on the Food Network, you know, that kind of thing. But that's my next venture. What's yours? Where are you planning to travel to? One time I really wanted to go to Singapore, but I'm not so enthused anymore. And I wanted to go to the Orient and, you know, but the world is too crazy. Traveling is just a nuisance now. You go to the airport, they want you to take off your shoes. But when you're coming back from Europe, you don't have to take your shoes off. It's just here in the US that you have to take. I just hate to take my shoes off and walk on that cold floor. And most of the times I know it's dirty. And you might just catch some stuff in your foot. And if you have a jacket on, and you just have a little top, skimpy top, they want you to take your jacket off. Yet they're putting you through that scanner, that body scanner. Can't they see everything through the jacket? Well, the last time I traveled to Atlanta and back, I rebelled. I did not take my jacket off. I was like, no, I have on something real skimpy underneath. I'm not going to take my jacket off. And it took a woman to convince a man that it was okay for me not to take my jacket off, because you're going to go through the scanner. So they see your whole body anyway. So why do they want you to be streaking? Should we be going naked to the airport now when we want to travel? Because we might as well. We have to take our chains off. We have to take our watches off. I was testing to see if they wanted me to take my wedding band off, but it didn't go off in the thing, right? But they want you to take off your earrings, your chain, and half your clothes and your shoes. So maybe we should just go naked to the airport. That would be a horrible sight. I do believe that will be and would be a horrible sight if all of us should protest and go naked to the airport. I think half the people will run out the airport. All of those security people, they will run from us. Yeah? They sure would, I think. So, alrighty. What are some of the other things I want to talk to you about today? Interesting things about health this morning. And I probably will go over them because I think they're kind of important. Things that will affect your health. Some of them you've heard. Some of them you might not have heard. And some of them you know, but you still do it anyway. Skinny jeans that are too tight. I wear skinny jeans. I love skinny jeans. I also love my bell bottoms. But I don't like too tight pants. And that's the culprit. Too tight a jean, ladies and gentlemen, especially you ladies, we're talking to you. It will affect your vajayjay because it creates a tight squeeze and heat. Not good for us. So when you're considering putting on the tight jeans that you have to lie down on your back in the bed to zip it up, reconsider. Wear your tight jeans, but don't make it so tight that you can't zip it up. And you can't button the button without lying on your back on the bed and trying to pull that zipper up. Or get someone to hold something, the waist, while you pull up the zipper. Or get them to zip it up while you hold in you pull your stomach in. That's dangerous, ladies. Don't do it. I see some tight jeans when I'm on the street and I wonder, how did they get into that? Because it simply looks like they pasted themselves into those jeans. So my advice to you today, right here, live on the Diana Wright Show online, give the tight jeans a break. Wear the skinny jeans because they look nice, but don't make them so tight that you can't get in or out of them. And especially teenagers. You see them in the store and my goodness, you're wondering about just how they got into them. Take good advice. Slimming underwear. Who knew that Spanx would then be not so healthy for you? Slimming underwear. Too tight for some of you. Are you holding your breath when you have those things on? And how do these women wear these girdles anyway? I've actually tried those things and I feel like I'm suffocating. So how do you do it? I'd like to know. 561-228-1921, the number to call and join the conversation on the Diana Wright Show live online. Okay, this one, I know that you know it's dangerous, but you still do it anyway. Those high heels that you can hardly step in, you can hardly move in, you can hardly walk in, and some of you kind of do the crab walking thing when you have those high heels on, because you know, there's some people that I know, like when I go to church, my prophetess Pierre, she is an expert at walking in those high heels. But a lot of us don't know how to walk in them. So why are we wearing them? Now for me, I wear my high heels when I'm going out somewhere, my husband is driving the car, and I'm going to be sitting 99.9% of the time. That's when I wear my high heels. So ladies, don't destroy your health by wearing those high heels. It destroys your feet. It hurts your back. And please, moms and dads, do not allow your teenagers to wear, especially those 12-year-olds, pre-teeners, what they call them, to wear those high heels, because they're just starting too early. Now, as you get older and you wear them, it's less time to do damage. Just like the cell phone. Don't let your little kids be using cell phones and we still are not sure if it's safe or it's not safe. Let them live a little and get to the place that they want to get to before you start jamming that cell phone in their ears. Right? And high heels, definitely not for teenagers that are too young. I guess when you get to 18, it's okay to start, and you shouldn't be doing it every day. You should be wearing those high heels for special occasions, I do believe. And now, see, I'm correct. It actually harms your health. When I told my daughter that, she'd think I was crazy, but then now I know she'll know that I'm not crazy. Well, oversized earrings, the one that dangles and they're so big and heavy for your ears. Try to buy the ones that are light. And they can be a nuisance, because if they're too big, they stick into your jacket and your collar. Yeah? And you find yourself trying to get your head out of, So please, whatever you do, make sure they're light. They're not too heavy. They're not good for you. Catching in your clothing is probably the most embarrassing one. So I'm sure if you're going someplace and you really, really, truly like that earring and you can't do without it, then, you're going to sit and be quiet, then it's okay. But if you're going to be walking and moving around and, stuff like that, we simply don't advise you to wear those heavy, huge earrings. Ballet flats, that's in swing right now. It's in fashion. It's fabulous. It looks good with some clothing, some, nice little summer dress or some tight, skinny jeans. It looks good with, but it's not good for your feet. I know a lot of people can't wear flat shoes, so ballet flats are not really good for them, but it's really not good for any of us if we're going to wear it all the time. And also, ladies, when you're wearing slippers all the time, you need to try to wear closed up shoes sometimes, because when you wear open shoes all the time, especially those high heels without any back, your heels become hardened. So you need to check that. And you need to lotion those heels and those feet real good when you're going to have them in those heels, so you don't look horrible. Because I see some women, and you're going, could they have not just take away the ash and put some lotion on them heels and some lotion on your legs when you're wearing shorts? You don't want to see no ashy legs and no ashy heels. So ladies, take some time, and it comes right back to loving yourself. If you love yourself, you will take care of yourself. So what a great thing. I love me. I take care of me. I believe in me. I trust me. I have faith in me. I can do anything, of course, with the assistance of God and Jesus. But we have to take care of ourselves. And men, don't believe that because you're so macho, you're not supposed to be taking care of yourself. You should be. Remember the days of the metrosexual man? I think that man is a great man. It's so nice to see men well taken care of, from their haircut to their skin, to their hands, their nails, their feet, their toenails. Not because they're men, they're not supposed to be taken care of. Yes, absolutely. So the metrosexual man is my favorite kind of guy. I just like that. I like men who look well taken care of. And even when it's the weekend and they're in casual clothes, they don't look like the robber down the street. Wives, you must insist that your husband looks good on the weekend when he gets out of his suit and his work clothes. You cannot have your CEO husband or your well-dressed to work husband looking like crap on a weekend and you are well-dressed beside him. No, no, no. Wrong thing to do. You should take care and make sure. And if your husband is and don't look good in something that you think he has on, like some of those older guys, why are you wearing your pants so I can see your brief? I don't want to see your underwear. And young boys, you need to pull your pants up and put a belt in your pants, because I don't want to see your underwear. And I don't want to see you in slippers with socks either. And I don't want to see you in the mall with a afro pick in your hair. It's not becoming. It looks disgusting. And I'm begging you, mothers, where are you with your sons in the mall looking the way they look? And where are you with your daughters in the mall half naked? Where are you, parents? I will have to come back to the rest of this list later on this evening at 8 o'clock as you join me again for the Diana Wright Show live online right here. My website, dianawrighttv.webs.com. My email address, dianawrighttv@gmail.com. Telephone number, 561-228-1921. That's the number to call and join the conversation. Give us thumbs up on our Facebook page. Join us. And of course, send us your thoughts. Tweet me, talk to me, and if you miss a show, it's on my website. It might not be there instantly, but it will also be on YouTube. So you have choices, as we should. And I thank you so much for joining me this day, today, hoping you have a great super day. Try to live in the supernatural and be blessed and be thankful and live in humility. And if you have to relinquish power, do it with humility the way Pope Benedict XVI did it. Wishing you a great day and hope that all your dreams will indeed come true. And God will give you all the desires of your heart as you go about your day today and as you dream your dreams and as you ponder your future. I hope that you will make Jesus and God a part of that planning. So live in the supernatural and be thankful. And thank you once again for joining me. Au revoir, adios, and ciao. And goodbye until this evening at 8. Thanks again.